to Univision Carolina, Sarassa, and thank you for being here with us. We begin today with Hurricane Dorian. The storm, now a Category 1 hurricane, is impacting the coast of North Carolina with winds of at least 90 miles per hour. Meanwhile, in the Bahamas, authorities confirmed that at least 30 people have. Chief Meteorologist Albert Martinez. Albert, where is Dorian right now? For that information. And overnight, Dorian turning deadly in the U.S. after officials confirmed 4 people died in the Carolinas. The storm battering the coast has left a trail of destruction. And Linares has more.
In eastern North Carolina, we're actually still recovering from Hurricane Florence, which hit that region back in September of 2018, leaving behind more than $18 billion in damages statewide. Now, many of them will have to start all over again, submitting insurance claims and meeting with FEMA to begin that rebuilding process. Caro, now back to you.
Thank you, Andrea, for that report. Meanwhile, before and after images released on Thursday show the extent of the damage caused by Hurricane Dorian. Go to Axel Turcios. He's in Nassau, where donations are coming in. Axel, what is the latest? Residents of the Bahamas are starting to return and check on their homes. Many of them were badly damaged. Lorraine Cáceres is in Freeport, one of the hardest hit areas, with the details.
That's right. I'm standing inside a family's home. This is the Cornish family, and they came just to see what could they possibly recover from all this flooding. It took days for the water to recede, so their belongings just sat there soaking in this dirty water for days. You can see behind me, this is the wall of the kitchen, how the water started to grow. You can see the markings with the hours, and it made it all the way up here. So as you can imagine, everything was covered in this dirty water. In the kitchen, you can see they're missing a stove, they're missing a fridge, the cabinets are empty. Take a look at the floor. That's how dirty this water was. We've been here for a few minutes just trying to get to know this family. They're back here in the bedrooms. All of their clothes would soak wet. So they're saying that right now their hope is just to clean all of this out and be able to reconstruct, rebuild their homes. There's a lot of help pouring in, but it's been a slow process, and they understand because the logistics were a bit difficult. They live in a neighborhood where more than 30 people had to be evacuated when the water started to come in. So a lot of people have come back today and yesterday to try and see what conditions their homes are in. And as you can see, as I just showed you, it's not good. These people are going to have to reconstruct basically their entire homes. Look, take a look behind me. These are the piles of rubble that you can see in front of every home in this neighborhood. There's about 25 homes in this area, and everybody is just in shock of the power of the water, because they say that it just rushed in so fast, and it was coming from different angles. So it was a very scary situation for that reason, because they know it was going to be a dangerous situation. A lot of people evacuated, so everyone is fortunately safe. They didn't experience any deaths. The neighbors are all happy that they're getting to see each other today, but everybody is definitely struck by all the damage, all the destruction, and the time, the so many months that it's going to be before they're able to reconstruct. We are going to have more details on U News from Freeport, but for now, this is all the information I have, so I'll toss it back to you.
Thank you, Lorraine, for that information. And grocery chain Publix is donating $250,000 to Hurricane Dorian relief efforts in the Bahamas. The store is also collecting donations. House President Trump continuing to insist that he was accurate in describing the potential impact of Dorian in the state of Alabama. Now, several aides are refusing to disclose whether it was the president himself who altered a map with a black market. And according to some political experts, the president's inability to admit a mistake has been a recurring theme throughout his term. A former advisor to the president said Trump will never acknowledge wrongdoing unless he's caught. And coming up, welcome back to News. Residents and authorities in California continue to grapple with a tragedy on the water, a boat fire that killed 34 people. Now, the owners of that boat on the defensive as more questions emerge about the possible safety issues on that vessel. has been recovered. Rapid DNA technology will be used to identify the remains burned beyond recognition. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott has issued 8 executive orders seeking to prevent mass shootings. The Nassau County Police Union wants to equip officers with assault rifles. The goal, to equal the firepower of a mass shooter. But the police commissioner says it is not necessary and not feasible. Eileen Cardet has the story. There have been 291 mass shootings in the U.S. just this year alone. As for the NYPD, it says its rifles are only used by specialized units. Let's go to Texas, where members of the House Judiciary Committee held a press conference in El Paso about conditions along the southern border and violence against immigrant communities. Pedro Rojas is there with the details. Pedro. Thank you, Pedro, for that report. Meanwhile, in Queens, New York, one resident faces hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines simply because she does not want to get rid of her garbage. And as you might imagine, the situation has not gone well with the neighbors. Fabiola Galindo has more. After the break, new details. And welcome back to UNews. Michelle Troconis was rearrested and charged Thursday, one day after her boyfriend was also charged. Jennifer Dulos, a mother of 5, has been missing since May. Her body has not been found. Paola Byron has the latest. The 2 men accused of turning an Oklahoma, California warehouse into a death trap where 36 people died during a raid escaped criminal punishment on Thursday. Jurors in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, caught on camera. A driver loses control and his car slams into a tree in the front yard of someone's home. Residents rushed in to help. As Jorge Hernandez explains, it was too late for the driver. No word yet on what caused the crash. Police have not identified the victim. And now in California, a truck carrying hundreds of live chickens crashed and caught fire early Thursday morning. California had a massive drug raid in Mexico. The Mexican Navy announced they have raided 4 labs within the surrounding areas of Culiacan in the state of Sinaloa. Officials discovered 1,000 and almost 7,000 deaths in less than 2 years. That is the horrific record of a special police unit under Venezuelan leader Nicolás Maduro. Many of those deaths are suspected of being extrajudicial executions, according to the UN. Azul Alvarez has more. Up next, automakers want to take a major star announcement. Welcome back to UNews on this Friday. Now, movies and music news now. Today, we have a surprise announcement that has left many fans in shock. Miriam Arias has more in the Hollywood Minute.
So Nicki Minaj has been an iconic figure in music for the past decade, and her apparent retirement announcement shocked all of her fans. Now, some couldn't believe it and still don't. Others were heartbroken. After seeing these reactions, Minaj followed up with another tweet. She said the original message was abrupt and insensitive and apologized to all of her followers.
So she apologized. Does it mean that she might be thinking about this twice?
So that's the question on everybody's minds, but she's being a little bit secretive about it. All we know is what she's saying through her Twitter. And right now she's, again, like I'm saying, being very secretive, but she does say that she will tell her fans a little bit more soon on Queen Radio, which is kind of a podcast that she has where she talks to her fans and also interviews guests. She says that it won't be an interview with any guest. It'll just be her talking about what is going on. She does tell her fans that ultimately they're going to be happy. So we don't really know if she's maybe taking a break or if she's fully retiring.
And Nicki helped launch the careers of many other women. How will her retirement impact the music industry, do you believe?
Yeah, so she's quite a brand, not just in the music industry, but she has partnerships in terms of beauty and fashion and even in electronics. And she, like you said, has impacted the career of so many others, Cardi B for one. So we have to wait and see what exactly is going to happen. But we do think that it's going to have quite the impact on the music industry because she's such a recognizable face.
Then we have about 25 seconds to go, but many of the fans are saying maybe she's thinking about having a family. That would be great if that is the case.
That would be great, and a lot of them are saying that, but for right now, we have no idea. A lot of them do think that she might be pregnant, but I guess we'll know soon if she is.
Well, if they really follow her, I'm sure they will be happy if she's happy. Thank you so much, Miriam. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Hasta mañana. Hasta lunes.